Hello guys, this is Still Force and welcome to my YouTube channel. In our previous tutorials, we did the draw commands, we did the modify annotations, and we drew this beautiful one bedroom self-contained, and we added the layers and annotations properties to this drawing. So in this tutorial, we are going to be adding grid lines, materials, and furniture to these drawings.
Steel Force.
Now, to add grid lines, you have to open a new layer for grid lines. I open the layers property, then I come here to insert a new layer. I'm going to name this layer grid lines, and I give it a different color. Use this. Okay, so now grid lines are center lines. So we are going to change this line type to a center line. You are going to load a different line for center. For me, I'm going to choose this center 5 times. You can decide to choose the center 2 times. So I click and it appears on top here. So I come back here and click on center and I type OK. After that, I close this. So now to draw the grid lines, I click on the drop down menu here and select the grid lines. Then I come here to click on lines. Now there's something to note here. We want every grid line to pass through the center of these walls. So say this wall from this dimension to this dimension is 150. So you want our grid lines to pass between these walls. So we can start by drawing the grid lines from here. Make it a little bit longer. Press enter on the keyboard. When we zoom, we realize that the short dashes are not really visible. So what we can do is we can highlight this and type LTS, which means line scale. Enter. Then you give it a value, say 10. You are scaling it by 10. Then it appears more clear. The next thing we are going to do is to highlight this and move it to the top. Move to the top a little bit. And we still realize that this grid lines is still not between these walls. It's not in the middle of the wall. So I'm going to highlight this, move, then move it to a distance of 150 divided by 2, which is 75. Enter. We realize that this is at the middle of the wall. It's inside the wall. So this same grid line is supposed to pass through every vertical wall here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this grid line. Then I copy. You can select copy here. Then I use this here as my reference. I can pick from here, click, and I do the same here. Beautiful. For this, I can place my cursor here and transfer, and it appears beautifully. Equal lines. So I'm done with the vertical grid lines. I'm going to do same for the horizontal. Can move it a bit up. Good. So we'll do the same for the horizontal lines. Make it exceed a little. You press enter. Then we move it to a reasonable distance. The goal is to get it in the middle. Click, copy, and move it down by 75. Enter. Okay, I copied instead of moving, so I'm going to delete this first one. So the same way, I'm going to copy this, enter. Start from this endpoint here. Then we do the same. Good. Now we are done with the grid lines. We are supposed to make sure the grid line passes through every wall on the drawing. So the grid line that is going to guide the builder in setting out the building on site. Now we are going to label the grid lines. Now to label the grid lines, come to circle. Let's use um, 2 points. Start from here. Give it a reasonable diameter. Click. Now I don't want the line type of my grid lines to be the same as the circle. So I'm going to use this annotation, the properties of this annotation. I'm going to give the properties of this annotation to this circle. So to match the properties from here and transfer it to this circle, you use a property called match properties, which is MA. So it shows here MA match property, then I press enter, and I click, and I press enter as well, and it does it beautifully. I'm going to insert a text inside here. So to insert a text, you come to the text command. Okay, let me use a single text. Then we label it A and enter. I realize that this A is very small, so we scale it. I'm going to select this A and scale it to increase the size. Scale, and I increase the size a bit. I'm going to move the circle inside the circle. I'm going to move this alphabet inside the circle. Move. Realize that the move command positions the alphabet in angles of 90 degrees. So to exit the 90 degrees, we press shift and we get it beautiful. So this is A, grid line A. And here will definitely be grid line B, C, D, G. you understand. Or better still, okay, let's maintain it like this. A, B. We are going to copy this and paste them here. Enter. So now we are going to change this. We double click fast to be, press enter. Then now we click once and make this C, enter. Then here we click once and make this G, press enter. Now we are going to copy the same thing from here and place them down here. Very beautiful. Now the same thing applies here. We are going to copy this and paste here. Then we label the horizontal ones 1. Here was supposed to be the alphabet and here was supposed to be the numbers, but all the same, you can still continue. Double click. This happened. Okay. 1. Enter. Copy. Here. Then here. Let's enter on the keyboard. So we'll change this to 2. Enter. Then we change this to 3. Enter. Then we copy what is here, there. So copy. Enter. Then we paste here. Then press enter on the keyboard. So now we are done with our grid lines. So now we are going to dimension the grid lines. Come to annotation, then click on the dimensions. So in dimensioning the grid lines, it starts from A to B directly. Then we click. So we get a dimension here to be 8.3 meters or 8,300 millimeters. Then we come between the grid lines one by one, from here to here. Enter. So we don't enter, we double click. So double click before you press the enter. Then we start again from here to there. Click again, press enter. Start from here to there. Click and click again. Now you come to this side. Here, click, start to end, then double click. Then we come again, click them one by one. Enter. From here to here, double click, enter again, and from here to there, click again. We're going to do the same thing to this side and this side. Enter. Here to here, click again, enter. Here to here, Click again and press enter. We'll do the same thing here. Enter. Start from here to here. Click again, press enter. Start from here to here. Click again and press enter. So we are done with the grid lines and the annotations of the grid lines. Now we are going to add objects, materials to our drawings. So now in the bedroom, we are going to be expecting a bed. So to add materials, you go back here and type, let's start with the furniture. Then we come to the command line. Then we type add center and we press enter. So in add center, select blocks, select folders, then we come here, en-us. en-us in small letters. We have two different types. We have en-us where the US is in capital letters. Then we have another one, en-us in small letters. So it's the ones with all the letters to be small letters that we are going to use. Then we come to design center. So in the design center, we have analog integrated, we have basic electronics, we have electrical power, we have fatness metric. So we are going to choose home space planner. Double click on the home space planner. Then we click on blocks. So here we have a queen size bed, we have a chair decks, other chairs, computer terminal, copy machine, dining sets. So you can choose table for now. So I'll select this table and place it in the hall somewhere here. And I can come back to choose a bed, a queen size bed. Then I'll place it in the bedroom here. After you place the bed, you are free to rotate it. You can select and rotate. You can rotate it any way you want it and fix it anywhere you want. So let's put the dining set in the hall. You can fix it somewhere here. Okay, let me fix it. Yeah, and delete this table. Here's a lamp table and place it beside the bed. Then plants probably in front of the building. put the sofa in the bedroom or in the hall, anywhere you want, your preferred choice. This is a square table and here. Okay, you can go back. Now come to house planners, blocks. So this is where we have the bath tubes, um, taps, sink. Can fix the sink in the washroom. Then we add a WC. There is a WC in the washroom. Then for the kitchen, and go back and back. And home space planners, blocks. Okay, kitchens, blocks. We have cabinets. And we have the stove. Okay, so I'm going to end this tutorial here. Please, if you know you've not subscribed yet, please do me the favor by subscribing to this YouTube channel. Until then, see you later. Bye.